Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I'm going to be blunt.
Okay.
We are very worried about the president's incompetence and lack of focus on fighting the spread of coronavirus. We believe that his lack of focus is hamstringing efforts to address this public crisis and inflicting pain on the stock market. One word could describe thus far the administration's response: incompetence.
Chuck Schumer, those are fighting words. Oh, Chucky, baby, fighting words. You know what? I will say this, and I've been very critical of the president. I do not think the way he's come out and handled this coronavirus has been solid. I think he's getting a little bit better and a little bit better, but it hasn't been as confident as I would like to have seen. And the confidence, I don't want to see any confidence from him when it comes to the medical side of things. You know what I want to see from President Trump? Hey, we've got experts that are dealing with this. I'm going to turn it over. I'm here to deal with the thing that I can help with, which is the economy. We're going to figure out a way to get us through this troubling times in the economy, and we're going to let the medical people deal with the medical stuff. But, and I get that everybody wants to ask him a question, and this is where you have to defer to the people that know, but that's not Trump. Trump wants to sell everything, and you walk a fine line. You don't want to be an alarmist, but you don't want to be somebody who takes it too casual. You want to make sure people are prepared, and at the same time, you don't want to freak everybody out. And the mismanagement has been the message in a lot of ways, rather than some of the stuff going on behind the scenes, which has its own problems. But Trump is still being Trump.
And we're prepared, and we're doing a great job with it, and it will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away. We want to protect our shipping industry, our cruise industry, cruise ships. We want to protect our airline industry, very important. But everybody has to be vigilant and has to be careful. But be calm. It's really working out, and a lot of good things are going to happen. The consumer is ready. The consumer is so powerful in our country with what we've done with tax cuts and regulation cuts and all of those things. The consumer has never been in a better position than they are right now. A lot of good things are going to happen.
Okay, well, not a lot of good things are going to happen, but there are some things that we should be talking about in the economy, because we all participate in the economy, and the virus itself is going to cause disruptions, which in some cases may cause disruptions to people's paychecks who can't afford to have a disruption in people's paychecks. How do we go about doing certain things to keep the economy at least at somewhat of a break even? And if there is going to be some sort of a slowdown, potentially a small recession, it is a soft landing, and then we take off again. That's where he should be doing his thing, right? And it doesn't help that Schumer comes out, and this is and I understand what Trump says, when he comes out and he says, you know, it's a hoax the way that they're handling. They've turned it into a political message, and he's turned it into a political message, and it's been a battle back and forth when there shouldn't be any of this. There shouldn't be any of this. You know what should be happening? Hey, we're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that we ensure the safety of the people. The states are going to be dealing with it on their level. We'll be dealing with it on a federal level. We're going to be coordinating with them. We're going to be coming up with the best possible solutions to the problem we face, and we'll be going from there. This is not going to kill hundreds of thousands of millions of people. This isn't. But we need to be wary and figure out how we mitigate this in a much quicker way, and we're going to do that on a state level, a city level, and a federal level, and go from there. I'm here to talk about other things. This is why I have Mike Pence as the face of the coronavirus, not the actual face. He's the czar, and you got Alex Azar and everybody else. One of the things yesterday that I thought he did that was fantastic was he said yesterday, hey, we're going to go talk to Mike Pence and him are sitting there. We're going to go talk to all the CEOs of all of the major healthcare insurance providers to make sure we get this thing covered.
All of our major health insurance companies have now joined with Medicare and Medicaid and agreed to waive all co-pays, cover the cost of all treatment for those who contract the coronavirus. They've committed to no surprise billing.
That's a win right there. That's an absolute win right there. Now, it doesn't help if you're off work for 2 weeks, but that is something. Those are the things that Trump can control. He's trying to control messaging on something he doesn't know anything about, that very few people know anything about. And like I said yesterday, Trump's biggest frustration in this entire coronavirus thing is he can't control it. He likes control. We all like control. Hence the reason why we go out and we buy all the toilet paper we possibly can, because there's something we think we can control. But he can't tweet his way out of this. He can't do. There are certain things that he wants to do. Calling him incompetent in a time like this is asinine. It is. Common sense, smart things that we need to do. We just move forward. We're going to talk about the coronavirus, I'm sure, throughout the day. But I don't think that's a message that needed to be put out there. Could have been better. Trump has struggled in his message, but this isn't a political thing. This is a virus. And if we stop worrying about who's getting credit or who's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, all trying to get to the same exact place, which is to mitigate this and eventually figure out a vaccine for it, guess what? It'll be better for all of us. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Last night, nice night for Biden.
Just over a week ago, many of the pundits declared that this candidacy was dead. Now we're very much alive.
Yeah, very much alive. He won pretty convincingly last night. And he got the things that mattered, he got, which was Michigan. Michigan mattered. They'll, at this point in time, he's pulling away with delegates. People are exiting the polls, and they're saying the things that at least that the establishment wants to hear, right? The establishment wants to hear certain things as they leave the polls, and they're getting exactly what they want.
We're going to have some marinated pork tenderloin.
Katie Morse is a mom of two in the suburbs of Kent County, Michigan.
Are you happy with your options in this primary?
It's okay. It's not perfect. It's not what I would have hoped to have seen. I think we could have had some new, blood in there. But I think at the end of the day, the idea for me is to get Trump out of the office. And so I'm just going to support, Biden in this race.
I've actually met Katie before. She cast a very different vote in 2016.
I was a big Apprentice fan.
The celebrity got to you a little bit.
It did get to me.
Yeah, she was a Trump fan. Now she's stepping away from Trump. Moving on to Biden. Why? It's simple.
He's built this business empire, right?
She had recently gone to a Trump rally and told me about how that actually made her rethink her choice.
And to see how Trump can command these people is mind-blowing.
Now she's ready to see a change in the White House.
The Katie that went into the voting booth in 2016 and voted for Donald Trump, could she have imagined this Katie getting ready to vote for a Democratic candidate?
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? The way that it's his personality, makes people uncomfortable. That's what it is. Not his politics. His politics has been pretty much everything he said he was going to do. Everything he said he was going to do, he's trying to get done. The political side of it, it's the chaos and the attitude that turn people off. That's why Biden has, I think, in many ways, gotten a lot of people who were thinking to themselves, I may agree even more with Bernie, but the reality is I just see 4 years of a different kind of chaos, but it's chaos indeed. I don't know if I want that.
I was really under the firm belief that he wasn't going to be as crazy as he is.
Though her husband disagrees.
I think Katie's a little turned off by his alpha personality.
I don't like how he conducts himself. I don't think he's a good example for our kids.
How do you feel about the candidate you're about to vote for, Joe Biden? Are you excited by what he brings to the table?
I think he's just going to be a little bit more middle ground. I think he's going to be able to get people from both sides of the aisle to understand, what the point is and how we can kind of come together and not be so polarizing.
Polarizing. it's the personality side of things. And Bernie's the same, but for the other side. I don't think people understand. I continue to say Biden's uniting of the country will be the boring of the country. Biden's uniting of this country is the fact that nobody dislikes Biden. Nobody loves Biden. They like it. Biden's a good dude. He's okay. But nobody dislikes Biden. He doesn't evoke an emotion. And through that boringness, he could return us to a sense of politics isn't top of mind. Right? And I think that's important in this. His uniting of the country may be the fact that he bores us. And because he bores us and there's no lightning rod for you're a socialist or you're Trump and you're angry and you're all of these things, it's people will be like, let's talk about other things. And that's important for a lot of people. They want normalcy. They want quiet. They want to get back to their day-to-day lives without all of this stuff, which is chaos at times. And I've said from the moment that Trump became the candidate to the moment he became the president-elect, Trump loves to be the eye of the storm, but he enjoys the storm. He's comfortable in chaos. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me, Beat Elite. I take it every single day. About 20, 30 minutes before my workout, I take it. And I just throw it into some water, boom, shoot it down, away I go. And I'm always looking for something, right? Something natural to give me a little oomph when I'm working out. I need that, and I've got it with Beat Elite. Beat Elite is naturally flavored, naturally sweetened, plant-based. Beat Elite promotes extended exercise endurance and improved energy and stamina. And I'm getting that. I'm working out anywhere between 35 minutes and about an hour and 15 minutes every day as I can fit it in. And again, I take it about 20, 30 minutes before, but I feel my endurance. And when I'm playing, especially when I'm playing soccer and stuff, I've noticed that I'm extending my workouts even longer, going longer. It's because Beat Elite. It promotes improved energy and oxygen efficiency throughout the body, especially during exercise and activity. It is awesome. Do what I did. Take your game to the next level with Beat Elite. Go to livehuman.com/Chad. When you do that, you're going to save 20% on your first order. That's livehuman.com/Chad. Livehuman.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
I, you, he, she, it. Lucy is a girl.
Point of personal privilege, please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Shut up, boo. Ain't nobody got time for this.
This is the Chad Benson Show.
April 15th may not be the tax filing deadline after all this year, thanks to the coronavirus. The Wall Street Journal reporting the Trump administration will likely extend the deadline to lessen the effects the virus is having on households and businesses. The Journal, citing sources in the Trump administration, no word on how long an extension would last, but the decision cuts both ways, helping taxpayers, but potentially hurting the federal government as it depends on IRS revenues for cash flow to keep paying the government's bills on time.
Yeah. And they're trying to do certain things to lessen the effects and help out businesses as well as individuals in the unknown. And that's what the coronavirus is. The reason that everybody's in a huff and a panic about this is the unknown. Right? And then you take that. So you take the unknown of the coronavirus. You take the unknown of all these things. Then you put that with Trump and politics in the modern era with Twitter and social media and all of the crap that people share that's all fake and BS. And you have potentially chaos. Plus, we have this self-fulfilling prophecy of people freaking out. This is it. We're coming to an end. The economy is going to crash. Everybody needs to breathe, and it's easier to say, right, than to do. But we need to just take a deep breath. And if I'm Trump, I'm getting out there, and my focus is the economy and making sure everybody else has the things that they need and that they're in the right place to combat this. To not be an alarmist, but not to be apathetic. How do we keep the economy going? Yesterday, just the talk of a stimulus saw a nice little bump, about 1,200 points. And what have I said? And I'll continue to say it. For the next foreseeable weeks and potentially month or two, as long as this thing's front and center and there's uncertainty, you're going to see wild swings everywhere. Wild swings. Plus, industries are struggling. Was it Princess Cruise Lines and stuff? They took out a $500 million extension on their credit. They said that this is going to hurt them from now all the way through next year because it's just a floating petri dish. That's all people think it is. It's a floating petri dish. I don't know if yeah. Would you go on a cruise? That's the interesting thing. Because right now, deals are great. And how many times, and they are. I saw a deal last night. You fly to London right now in like May for $380. Right? Hell, for $1,000, you may be able to sit business class. You may be the only person on the plane. For $2,000, you may fly the plane. You want to sit up front, fly the plane? Possible. Just say it.
Cut could last through the end of the year.
The payroll tax holiday is a bold move. It's a very bold move.
But Democrats and even some Republicans sharp in their criticism of the president's plan.
Yeah, the payroll tax may be the next thing they're looking at doing. A little cut there. What kind of stimulus? That's the big thing. The Democrats want to flood the market with money. Republicans are saying, do we do more tax cuts? If this thing's going to last a while and you're that worried about it, you may have to look at both in some way, shape, or form. But if I'm Trump, this is my tool to use to help. I'm going to let other people handle the other stuff. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. By the way, all these crazy things, these DIY things to potentially cure yourself of the coronavirus, the insane things. We're going to touch on some of those. Some of these things are just insane. And in some place in the world, it's costing people their lives. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Team doctor come in and he talked to us about everything. Just keeping ourselves clean, washing our hands, and how much to wash our hands, 20 seconds and stuff like that. But just really gave us an update about the virus and where it was and in relation to LA and the potential of not playing in front of fans. That's really it.
Yeah. Anthony Davis right there, Lakers. Is it going to happen? It's going to happen. Will it be everywhere? I don't know if it's going to be everywhere, but you're going to see, you're already seeing conferences cancel, or not cancel, some cancel. The Ivy League canceled their conference basketball tournament. Kids will be told to stay at home. Don't come back from spring break. Just we'll do it remotely. You're finding that, each league is grappling with what's going to take place. I think in San Jose, the Sharks, they will not have any crowds. And if you've ever watched a sporting event where there is a large arena and there is nobody in there, it's not as cool. It's just not. It takes away something. I watched over the weekend the Italian league Serie A, which is the top league in Italy. They had Juventus played Inter Milan, and there was nobody in the crowd at the at their stadium. So it was it was just San Siro was like it was empty. You're looking at 75, 80,000 seats, and it's just everything echoes, the ball, the thud. There was just no energy. Even though the game's going on, there's no energy. It looks like it's a practice game. So People watch it for a second, you're like, oh, this will be interesting. And then you're like, it's not interesting. It's not. It's not. It's interesting to watch for like 2 seconds, but then it's just like, it's nothing. It's very dull and quiet and so be prepared. Be prepared and be smart, right? Especially the older population. That's what they're saying. Be smart about. Yesterday you saw what? Biden and Sanders cancel going to Ohio because they didn't want to have rallies outside. They just thought, you know what, we're not going to do this. We had to cancel for real reasons because they're worried.
The governor of Ohio asked the presidential campaigns to cancel their indoor public events in Cleveland with large crowds of people.
Not you, Joe, but Bernie potentially. Although I don't know how long that's going to be. Speaking of Joe, yesterday, he got into it with a union worker about guns. If you haven't heard it, we touched on it a bit yesterday.
These union workers that have been working countless hours under the Trump administration, I'd like you to explain how you plan to not only keep us working, but how you intend on getting the union vote when there's a large portion of the union workers that are gun enthusiasts. You are actively trying to diminish our Second Amendment right and take away our guns.
You're full of shit.
All right, thank you.
No, shush. I support the Second Amendment. Second Amendment, just like right now, if you yell fire, that's not free speech.
Okay. He was very angry, and it was a very interesting thing to watch how quick he was to anger. It was very interesting, and you see it a lot. And look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. One of the big fears I have with Joe is he's older, and is he there? Is he there all the time? I guess it's a fair question to ask. Anthony, producer Anthony pointed out, Joe and Mika for 2-3 years has argued that Trump is incompetent, that he is mentally he's diminished, and all of these things. This is a real fair question. I don't worry about that with Trump. His chaos, and maybe he's incompetent in other ways. You can argue that. That's fine. But mentally incompetent and deficient and struggling, and has dementia. Now, I don't buy that. I don't buy that with Bernie. I don't. Like, Bernie's totally fine. We can ask questions about his heart. But with Joe, I have other questions that are very real.
I have a shotgun. I have a 20 gauge, a 12 gauge. My son's hunt. Guess what? You're not allowed to own any weapon. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
So when you were in Beto, when you said you're going to take our guns,
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
It's a viral video.
It's a viral video like the other ones they're putting out there. They're simply a lie.
Your voice, you said that you're taking the guns.
Wait.
So he's sitting there arguing, and it was interesting.
Wait. Take your AR-14s
or whatnot. But then afterwards, he's walking off, and the video you should really see. But he looks confused. He looks dazed. And they were asking about how well he handled the situation.
Wasn't it appropriate to swear at an American, though, especially a union voter? Right temperament with voters that you don't agree with, sir?
Vice President, on the coronavirus,
they're both targeting you over this exchange this morning with a voter about guns. Any regrets about how you handle it?
Well, I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. It just surprised me.
What? I want you guys to listen to that again. They're asking him all kinds of questions about what just took place. Somebody threw a coronavirus question there, but they're asking all kinds of questions. Should you have yelled at that guy? Should you guys have sworn at an American, a union worker? And this is about a gun exchange with a union worker on the shop floor as he's visiting. And this is his answer?
Wasn't it appropriate to swear at an American, though, especially a union voter? Right temperament with voters that you don't agree with, sir?
Vice President, on the coronavirus,
they're both targeting you over this exchange this morning with a voter about guns. Any regrets about how you handle it?
Well, I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. It just surprised me.
I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. Huh? I think it's a fair question to ask. Well, you still like Biden. I like Biden. I think Joe Biden's a good dude. But can we not have the actual question about is he there? Is he there all the time? Not just 60% of the time or 70% of the time. Is he there all the time? Because that's what you need. That's what you need. You can go back and look at the last year or so of Reagan, and we didn't really understand dementia, we didn't really understand Alzheimer's and things of that nature in the way that we do now. And I said to producer Anthony, reminds me a little bit of my grandma. My grandma got older, and by the way, not as old as him when she started to struggle a little bit. And quick to anger. Very quick to anger. And there was difference, too. And people say, well, he's had gaffes. Gaffes are not this, right? He's looking at times. He's searching for things. And I don't want him to be sick. Hell no. I like Joe. I don't want any of that stuff. But you got to think about this. If you're a voter right now, and between now and November, you got to make up your mind, and you start thinking to yourself, they're throwing all their eggs in this basket. And what if a good portion of those eggs are broken? That's a fair question. Has nothing to do with him as a person. Has all to do with the reality is he all there? Right? We can ask these questions, especially at this age. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do believe it's a fair question to ask here. Just like we can ask the question, we hear it all the time. I mean, yesterday, Joe and Mika called Trump. He's he's morbidly obese. Say all these, Trump's a big dude. But you know what? I don't worry about Trump's energy level because he seems to be going. I don't worry about whether or not Trump is mentally there. He likes the chaos. I think his faculties are working, right? He hasn't had a heart attack. I can look over at Bernie and say, you had a heart attack not too long ago. So, and I don't worry about whether or not Bernie's elevator goes all the way to the top right now, because I know it does. If you're a Democrat, are you working? Are you worried? Are you worried at this moment? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. So they're canceling events, doing all of these kind of things because of the coronavirus. It's very interesting. Like, what have you stopped doing? That's the funny thing. I asked people yesterday, what do you stop doing? Because a lot of people, they're not shaking hands. They're, and I look, as a politician being out there, how many people that you run into on a day-to-day basis? Yeah, I could see that. I could see not shaking hands all the time. Right? Even the Queen now, who's broken from protocol, she's wearing gloves if she is meeting anybody, because we have to worry about what? The older population. And that's one of the things that I think we're starting to see here, where, places like Italy, as they've shut everything down in Italy, they're worried about the older population. I was talking to my friend yesterday, who's always in Spain, and Spain has shut down the schools because of the coronavirus outbreak. And so who takes care of the kids? Grandparents. Who spreads the disease? Kids. It's not a good thing, right? That's not a good thing. Italy's having issues as well.
In Italy, it's a hugely disproportionate number of people in their 70s, 80s and 90s who are getting sick or who are dying. And Italy has the second oldest population on earth. And I think there really is a sense in Italy that the senior population are under attack.
Yeah, because of this. It's just understanding how dangerous this is. But even at the danger level that it poses for seniors, it's still a decent survival rate. Common sense. Right? And I see, these people say, I can't believe they're canceling these events. Yeah. Sunday night here in Arizona, supposed to be, and I don't know if there is or isn't going to be, a debate. Because I know what Bernie's going to do. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But the reality is they've now decided there's not going to be any media outside of, I believe, CNN, who's the moderators, and there will not be any audience members, which will also be weird for the debate. They're doing everything they can. Why? Because they're in a high-risk group. Think about that. 78 and 77, they're in a high-risk group. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Lightstream. Our friends over at Lightstream are taking care of you. How so? Well, first of all, go look at your credit card. How many you got? 2, 3, 4 of them? Got a lot of money on those things, and you're saying to yourself, self, what am I paying monthly that's just going to, oh my Lord, 20%? That's about the average. You need my friends at Lightstream. It's so easy to lower your interest rate and save with Lightstream credit card consolidation loan. You can get a rate as low as 5.95% APR with auto pay. You got good credit, but you're still paying ridiculous rates. Stop it. Lightstream delivers $5,000 to $100,000, no fees. And in cases, many of them, you can get your money as early as the same day you apply. It's so easy. You can do it right from your phone. And they will take care of you. Big time. They will. And just for me and my listeners, you can save even more. You go to lightstream.com/Benson, lightstream.com/Benson. See how easy it is to save. Get yourself out of that ridiculous chaos of paying way too much in interest rates and get over to Lightstream. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offers subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
In Rouen, France, the mayor of a small French town has decided, we're going to host this thing. Right, so just outside of Rouen is Le Dronno in western France. What are they going to host? A record-breaking gathering of 3,500 people dressed like Smurfs. What? No Gargamel. Love me some Gargamel. Yeah, so he's decided, hey, you know what? We're going to do this. We're doing this, right? We got nothing else going on here. I need people to show up. We need Smurfs. We got nothing. We're doing this. I don't care if people get sick. We need some. Have you seen? We've got nothing going on. It's a small town. We've nobody here. Fans of by the way, it's a Belgian cartoon. Remember the little Smurfs? Right? There's only one Smurfette. There'll be more Smurfettes here. They lived in mushrooms. So we'll see. It's a record-breaking thing. And they're like, we would like this to be really fun with all these people showing up and doing things crazy. Speaking of crazy, San Francisco. Imagine this. You go into a McDonald's and here comes a guy that's maybe not all there. And with him, he's bringing his animal, service animal. But it's not the service animal you would think. It's a raccoon, and the raccoon's dead.
Wow, that's bring a dead-ass raccoon into McDonald's. That's crazy. They ain't gonna bring it in there where the food at. You so fucking stupid. Look at this shit. Put the raccoon on the table. And he getting up leaving now. Look at this shit. Look, he leaving now. This crazy, boy. I tell you. Only in San Francisco. Only in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Only in San. He wasn't done, though.
Try to come get him something to eat before he go to work. Look at this bullshit. He brung him in there. This right here. Boy, I done seen it all. Somebody need to call 911 on this dumb ass. He gonna bring a dead-ass raccoon and put him on the table. That's crazy. I don't want nothing out this McDonald's. Only in San Francisco.
People are worried about the coronavirus, not this guy. He's got to make sure it's dead raccoon. He just left it there. It's like, all right, I've had enough of you. Jimmy's been drinking too much. I'm out of here. I'll leave you here. Only in San Francisco. Seems about right. San Francisco, Seattle, Portland. Mark those as 3 cities I want nothing to do with because they've allowed them, and L.A., right? And I grew up just outside of Los Angeles. I want no part of any of what they have to offer anymore. It is gross. It is nasty. And they've allowed the inmates to run the asylum, whatever you want to call it. But it's ridiculous. It is. In your search for empathy, you've made it a living hell for everybody else. And that is not something I think anybody wants to deal with. I don't know how many people in the last year I've talked to who've told me I will never go back to Seattle again and I will never go back to San Francisco again. It is vile and disgusting. And the smell and I had a friend yesterday who told me she took her daughter there for a little mini vacation and they couldn't wait to leave after being there for about 2 or 3 hours. It was just from people pleasuring themselves in the street to people urinating and going to the bathroom to drugs everywhere. It was, you've built the beauty of it, right? It's your utopia. I hope you enjoy it. Coronavirus is the least of your worries. Watch out for Hep C. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. What a great rap name. What's up? I'm Hep C. And this is COVID-19. What? Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
March 12th from this Thursday, a 2-week period where facilities within that area, schools within that area would be closed for 2 weeks. We'll go in, we'll clean the schools, and assess the situation.
Governor Cuomo, what are we going to do? Is everybody still here? Chad, you're not taking this serious. I am taking this seriously, right? I am. I think we need to take this seriously. I think it's a smart thing to do. In saying that, you run that weird kind of situation where you're like, what do I do? Do I over prep? Do I under prep? Do I just kind of apathy for it? Do I just go about my day? It's Dr. Kara Christ, who's out here in Arizona. She's the head of the Arizona Health Department. She essentially said, you need to treat everybody as if they have the coronavirus. I'm like, I don't think I can live my life that way, right? I don't. I can't. I take it serious as, you could catch the flu. You could catch this. And if you catch this and you're a healthy adult or child, with no underlying conditions, and you're under 60 or 65, you're probably going to be just fine. The quarantine thing, though, is a weird kind of thing. So they're quarantining an area in New Rochelle, and they're bringing the National Guard, and what kind of enforcement is there going to be? That's the other question. So when I hear quarantine, this is just me. I think you need to go somewhere and you're quarantined. You can't have contact with anybody. You can't leave the facility. You can't leave your house, wherever you are. That's what I think of quarantine. Not like we're going to kind of quarantine, because that's a lot of what I'm seeing now is the kind of quarantine. Like, hey, you shouldn't go anywhere. You have people in Missouri who broke their quarantine, even though they were supposed to be, quarantined, and they got out, and who knows what will happen, and what are the legal ramifications for any of this stuff.
Then, if they refuse or they seem unwilling to do it, then you can actually go, and it depends state by state, municipality by municipality, about exactly how that would occur. But there's almost another phase which would say, okay, you're saying you don't want to do this? We're going to make you do this, and it is absolutely legally enforceable.
That's crazy, but it's true. So if you're not going to, we're suggesting to you in the kindest possible way, if we quarantine you, we are asking, again, in the kindest possible way. In the kindest possible way, if you could refrain from going anywhere, stay away from making contact with anybody, and you could do it at your house. Because if you try to leave and we find out you did, we could then ask you in another way that will not be kind. Don't know. It's interesting. It is. I asked yesterday, remember the H1N1, right? It was going to kill everybody. It killed a lot of people. It did. And the World Health Organization took a lot of criticism because they were told, hey, this whole swine flu thing, and you guys really mismanagement and the way that you came after people and the way that you made it sound, it was the end of the world. And at the end of the day, yes, it killed a lot of people, but it was nowhere near the kind of panic that you made people feel. And I said to myself, just out of curiosity, right? Because this is front news, center everywhere, and you would think the world's coming to an end, and we need to be very much prepared for stuff like this going forward. At the same time, and let's not become alarmist. I don't remember this kind of chaos and craziness for that. I mean, I don't remember the Obama administration just getting out there and just taking this thing and it was 24/7 news. I don't remember, because this has now become political. Isn't that crazy? Like, this is a virus and we're not too far removed from the H1N1 scare that most people don't even remember what that was. And we're in a situation now where it's not only front and center, it is political. And I just find that to be so like, wow, we're in a situation where this is now political. Yeah, it's now political. And it's political in the time of a election. That's even weirder, right? Yesterday, Schumer.
I'm going to be blunt. We are very worried about the president's incompetence and lack of focus on fighting the spread of coronavirus. We believe that his lack of focus is hamstringing efforts to address this public crisis and inflicting pain on the stock market. One word could describe thus far the administration's response: incompetence. I've not been happy with the way that Trump's handled this, but we don't need that. But welcome to the world of politics now. And they used to always say is never let a tragedy or an issue go to waste. This, though, is just something else. And, yeah, Trump deserves absolutely to be hammered for his response, and I think the way that he's gone about it. But he also needs to be given credit in certain things, which we're not doing. His best, if I'm him, I'm out there and all I'm touting and talking about is the economy, the ramifications of this. I'm going to deal with that. This I know, this I understand. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm none of those things. I'm going to let other people handle that. I want to ease the country and their minds that we're heading to some sort of financial chaos that we saw in 2008. I want to ease that. But he's running for re-election. He's feeling the heat. He's frustrated because he can't deal with it. But here's my kudos to him. I think the last couple times he's been okay, right? Because when he first came out, it was, oh, it's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. It's the best thing that's ever happened to us, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry. People can spend money. It's great. Let's look at the positive side. No, it's not. It's an issue that needs to be dealt with, and that's why you should be dealing with the side that you can have an effect on. He said yesterday, he and Pence, we're going to talk with the major insurers. We're going to get this thing sorted out when it comes to coronavirus. And lo and behold, yesterday,
all of our major health insurance companies have now joined with Medicare and Medicaid and agreed to waive all co-pays, cover the cost of all treatment for those who contract the coronavirus. They've committed to no surprise billing.
Love that. Like, that's exactly, that's a win right there. Those are the things you should be talking about. That's a win. You did the right thing. You went out and did the right thing. You took the bull by the horns. You did that. Those are things that you can do, that you have some control on. You can't control the virus. You can't control the spread. You can contain it, hopefully mitigate it.
But you got to work on the messaging because you're getting mixed messages. You're getting, it's people don't like that. People want to say, hey, you get out there and I'm putting people in place that know about this. They're going to handle this the right way. I have confidence in them. I'm going to be dealing with the economy side of stuff. It's a two-pronged attack that we need to take as a nation to combat this so we can not only mitigate the potential loss of life, but also the disruption that people are going to be feeling in the future when it comes to potentially their paychecks, potentially the cost of medical, things of that nature. That's what he should be doing. Calling him incompetent, to me, it doesn't work. It's a crappy message when we should be taking this thing on as a country. And Trump has put his foot in his mouth on more than a few occasions, touting his expertise in these. No, don't do that. But Trump doesn't know any other way. And he can't tweet his way out of this. And he can't talk his way out of this. So do what you know how to do. Like getting more tests. That's the issue, right? How many people have we tested? How many people have had this? Spoke to a doctor yesterday. He says, look, there's going to be a lot of people that get this, think it's a cold because they're not going to really show the symptoms. A good 80% of people have mild symptoms, so they won't show with symptoms. They will think it's a cold, and they'll go about their day-to-day business. It won't even come on like a flu, and that'll just pass. But we need to get those testing kits out there. That's something that needs to be done. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. A lot of stuff to get to. Touch a bit on the primaries. We knew what was going to happen last night. Everything kind of stayed the way that people thought it was going to. Biden slowly pulling away. And it's now, at this point in time, it's not if but when. I don't think Bernie is going to be doing anything spectacular. I don't think there's some major, even if he won everything from here on out, he would have to win it in such a large margin for him to have any chance. It's not possible, right? He's not going to. And then Democrats have to start asking the question, was Biden the right thing? Did we do the right thing? Did we have to go to the extreme to fight Trump and win an election? And is Biden it? Is Biden the one? Because you're going to have to live with that. You are. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. There is a company, by the way, I just want to let you guys know, there's a company that is paying between $4,500 and $7,000 that will infect you with the coronavirus so they can test vaccines on you. You're going to get two mild strains of it. You'll be quarantined for 2 weeks. You're going to have to work out a little bit, and they're going to monitor everything that you do. I don't know how you exercise, in that situation, but they're looking at stuff. And I threw a poll question up. Would you for $7,000? 47% say yes, I would. 24% say yeah, but I want more money. And 28% said no way would I do that. What say you? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Raycons, best earbuds around. Love them. Wireless earbuds, right? So last night I go to my hotel, turned it on seamlessly, right on to my iPad, and away I go. 6 hours of playtime. Seamless, like I say. Bluetooth pairing. More bass, compact design. Love it. Stylish, cool. No dangling wires, no stems. And the cost is it's about half the price of what you're going to pay for those other premium. And it's about the sound. So they're stylish and, in many cases, way more stylish. Because you got different colors, all kinds of styles to choose from. On top of that, better sound quality, better talk time with the nice noise-isolating fit. You're going to love these things. And at a price point that is absolutely amazing. On top of all of that, I'm going to save you 15%. What? How do you do it? Simple. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. That's buyraycon.com/Chad. 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds, the E25s. You will love these. Buy Raycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, the only place so far that the Mueller investigation hasn't deep probed for collusion.
Redacted! Redacted!
Stay tuned. This is Chad Benson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Oh, a lot of coronavirus stuff. Hand sanitizers and wipes trending big time. Target's limiting the number of hand sanitizers, disinfected wipes per order. E3 apparently is going to be canceled. So we called Coachella yesterday. They're looking maybe just canceling it all together, maybe moving it. Everybody's looking for, is there alternatives? But yesterday, I got the news I was supposed to be out with one of my clients in April, about a month from now, and they canceled that. Who knows what's going to happen to the Olympics? And get ready for this. The UEFA European Soccer Championships, which is arguably way bigger than even the Olympics, which has taken place this year throughout Europe. There'll probably be an announcement in the next day or two that they're going to cancel that or move it a year. So the ramifications of this are very, very, very real. Coachella's done. Stagecoach, they're moving those to October. You already had the Ultra Festival. You're not getting the Ultra Festival, and you're not getting your money back for that. Right? Read the back of that ticket, kids. Just saying. Read the back of that ticket. Alex Jones is trending because he got arrested for a DW. Oh, man. It's a conspiracy. Can't believe the conspiracy is going on. Let me tell you something about the new things that are going on right here. Conspiracy, they caught me. Conspiracy. He's just hilarious. Chad's not very funny. I can laugh at him. I think we're okay laughing at him. What else is going on? Dem exit 2020. If you haven't seen yesterday, Biden won handily. People are starting to question. That's what we do, right? Everybody handed the keys to Biden, but then they're like holding on to those keys a little bit. Like, not quite sure. I was maybe. Gronkowski apparently signing with WW. Was it WW? It's not. It's the World Wrestling Federation, WWF. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Right? It used to be WWE. No, it's WWE. Now WWF's the World Wildlife Federation, which is what it was called. I don't even know. Right in Bernie is trending big time. And Angela Merkel, who came out today, and she said, she's Chancellor of Germany, so she's their president. If you don't know who she is, read a book. She believes 60 to 70% of Germany will be infected by the coronavirus. How about that for confidence? How about that? We are not good at stuff like this, as you know. Sometimes we make mistakes. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Again, primaries last night, 6 of them. Biden won the prize, which was Michigan. Not a shocker. Is Bernie going to keep going? It's a big question. We'll talk about that. More on the coronavirus. Fun day. Getting you over that hump. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
With all the talk of craziness that is the coronavirus, like we just said, Angela Merkel says she believes 70% of Germans will eventually get it. Yesterday, there was, I'm going to go out there and say, kids, there was primaries. 6 different states, the big prize being Michigan. There were some other prizes as well. Right, Wolf Blitzer?
And we have our first projection of the night. Bernie Sanders, not happening right now. Joe Biden is the winner of the Mississippi primary. Joe Biden carries Mississippi. There we have it right there. You can see it. Oh, maybe you can't see it. We'll fix that technical problem. But the most important thing is this. Joe Biden is the winner. Joe Biden is the winner in Mississippi. It's another southern state that goes for the former vice president.
Yeah. Now the question, and he did win, by the way, just to let you know. Wolf was excited. He wanted to be the first one out there. He called it. Here's the question. What do you do if you're Bernie now? I think it's a really fair question. What is even going on with Bernie?
Joe Biden is now actively trying to reach out and court Bernie Sanders' supporters. And this morning, that silence from the Sanders team is very telling. He has no campaign events scheduled, but we do know he is looking forward to that debate on Sunday. But at this point, more than anything, it may be an opportunity to simply try and influence policy decisions going forward. Sanders' supporters admit this was a very tough night for him.
Yeah, because he thought maybe he could dig back out of this. Right? As Mary Bruce talk about that, he thought, we're going to dig out of this. We got a chance here. We did well before in Michigan, but it wasn't going to happen. Right? I thought he did good in Washington State. He did better there. But he wasn't going to really have a chance yesterday. You went North Dakota. It's a bit of a toss-up in Washington. And you just look and they're saying, man, it's supporters. They know the end is near. And the question is when?
What does he do now? Does he genuinely, sincerely get behind Joe Biden? Or did he send a message, as he did 4 years ago, that the system has been rigged against us and we don't owe any loyalty to the Democratic Party?
Yeah, which is real, right? I mean, it's a very real thing. What does he do? What's he going to do? How much longer is he going to stay in this race? And it's over. Steve Roberts is right. It's over. Now the question is, can he get his people if he's serious? Because it's about defeating Trump. And that's what a lot of what people were coming out saying yesterday in the exit polls. At the end of the day, it's about defeating Trump. That's it. End of the day, it's like, can you defeat Trump? And people didn't seem to think that Bernie could defeat Trump. I'll say one thing. Bernie's right about something. I don't know if Trump has the energy. I mean, if Biden has the energy to defeat Trump. I don't know if he can energize voters. I don't know. I mean, if you take the energy of Sanders and the way he's able to work an audience and you were able to morph the two together, it'd be a hell of a race. But you can't do that, right? You could do that on your Instagram, right? Where you swap faces and do stuff, but you can't do that in real life. And everybody's going, well, are we going to have a repeat of 2016? That's a fair question.
Going forward, 2 key questions. Does Joe Biden find a way to excite voters in a positive way and not just a negative way? And secondly, what does Bernie Sanders say to his own troops? The fact that many of them did not vote for Hillary Clinton 4 years ago was a critical factor in her defeat.
Yeah, one of the things trending today, we just talked about, write in for Bernie. I have friends who are very progressive. They're huge Bernie supporters. To a person, I've been asking them, will you vote for Biden? Every one of them has said nope. And nobody in my sphere who supports Bernie will vote for Biden either. We want Bernie or nothing. We don't care if Trump gets another 4 years. Because at this point in time, they look at Biden as an extension of Obama, which is part of the machine, and they all said the same thing. Who's deported more? right? Who's deported more? Last night I said, I tweeted out that I think Biden's extinguished the burn. And it was interesting to see how many people came out and tweeted at me about how this race is being stolen from him, right? It's funny. One person tweeted at me at VetsFlagsGmail. Bernie got robbed again. Someone waved their magic wand to tell Mayor Pete and Amy to drop out before Super Tuesday. Everyone endorsed Biden seemingly overnight. Clyburn's whisper was very sheepish. Who's the Swamp King? Barack? Bill Clinton? Joe Biden? There's a lot of that. There is a lot of that. And I don't know if he has that because he doesn't excite people. Joe is calming, and he's the comfort food we talk about. Comfort food. Right? He's that meatloaf. He's that open-faced turkey sandwich that your mom used to make for you. He's that. He is comfort food, but he's not exciting. This is an exciting new restaurant. Bernie was that. But Bernie never got beyond a certain threshold. He never was able to do the things he needed to do, which was what? Get more people. Because his message was geared towards the young in such a way that it excluded a lot of older people who do remember what socialism looked like, who do remember what it was like to go out and to take out student loans and to do certain things. Not at the level these kids are. And that made a lot of them uncomfortable.
But what you have seen since this became a one-on-one race, this is where you see all of those voters saying clearly here, the non-Sanders candidate. They're saying it in Mississippi. They're saying it in Missouri. They said it in those Super Tuesday states. Big group of Democratic voters that were closed off to Sanders in 2016, and they look just as closed off to him in 2020.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, call it the establishment, call a lot of things, even if there wasn't the establishment side of things. I don't know if there was a big enough reach for Bernie nationwide. And I will say this, 33%, about a third, if not a little bit more, will stay home on that election night. I asked my buddy yesterday, who's, again, very progressive, uber progressive. Love him. Like, absolutely. Just love him to death. Somebody asked me, how do you have friends like that? Because politics is a smidge. We've grown up together. We love each other. We talk about all kinds of things, and we have so many things in common. I don't really, politics. I don't pick my friends based on their political leanings. But he said, I don't see a difference between Trump and this establishment. Trump's loud, his rancor, and the division, but I don't see a difference between the establishment is the thing that bugs so many of these people. They feel like they're being robbed. The establishment did it to us again. They've done it to us again. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. We're all pretty much still alive again. Angela Merkel has said that she believes 70% of Germans will contract the coronavirus. 70%. What is going to happen in the future is going to be an upending of a lot of people's day-to-day lives. You're going to be changing things. Things are going to be canceled. You're getting doctors like this, Dr. Rex Archer.
We do caution folks, particularly those that are over 60, those that have underlying conditions, whether it be heart disease, lung disease, immune challenges or problems if they've been on chemotherapy, pregnant women, to very strongly consider not participating.
Yeah. Going to any kind of events. What kind of events? Anything, really.
As you get up towards 70, and if you have underlying conditions, then I'm actually strongly recommending that you not attend.
Yeah. If you've got an issue, you don't go. Right? It's the best thing to do. If you're fighting an underlying issue, you don't attend certain things. It's the best thing to do. Stay away. Just be precautious. It's common sense, right? Wash your hands a little bit more. And I think we're starting to realize that maybe we were very, flippant about the way that we do things. And we go in, we wash our hands, move around, we high five each other, we do all, it's just how many things we come in contact with, and people now are like, well, if I have to go somewhere, I'm bringing my own pen if I have to sign something. Because how many people have touched that? And you're like, yeah, I could see that. But at the same time, you're also going places, so you're coming in contact. Vegas shut down the world-famous buffet lines, and that you're going to see that a lot in the coming weeks. You are. And then the question is about quarantine and what does exactly that mean? Because we're seeing people self-quarantine, and this is Dr. Jennifer Ashton talking about that.
You home quarantine, you don't leave your house, you reduce your exposure to others. Different than isolation. Isolation is for people that are ill.
Yeah. So if you think you have it, you quarantine yourself. If you think you have it or have been exposed to it, isolation is you've got it. Everybody get away from me. Both of them, they suggest highly. Remember? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like they're doing in New Rochelle. We suggest that you do certain things. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. In saying that, if you don't wink, wink, nudge, nudge, do what we suggest, we have ways of suggesting in different ways. Yeah. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Love hearing from you guys. Asked the question earlier, what is your price for being a guinea pig for the coronavirus? Companies offering about $7,000, about 4,500 euros, give or take, as far as the dollar amount. What is yours? You'll have to take 2 weeks off work. You'll be exposed to the most mild of the strains. They're going to want to monitor your food. They're going to take care of all of the other stuff as far as your medical and everything else. And we're going to want you to exercise. I don't know what you can do. I guess, you work out inside the house, maybe do a PX90. But it's 2 weeks, and they want to monitor you, and they're going to test vaccines on you to see what they're doing. And this is the next phase of that. And I continue to tell everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. What would be your price? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Lightstream, speaking of prices, what are you paying on your credit card balances right now? How many of those have high interest rates? Probably most of them. Even people with good credit have ridiculously high interest rates. Average interest rate on a credit card is about 20%. Guess what? You need my friends over at Lightstream. It's so easy to lower your interest rate and save with the Lightstream credit card consolidation loan. You can get a rate as low as 5.95% APR with autopay. You've got good credit? You shouldn't be paying ridiculous amounts. How about this? Loans between $5,000 and $100,000, absolutely zero fees. Easy to do. You can do it right from your smartphone, and you can even get the money the same day you apply. It's that simple. Stop paying for things you bought a long time ago and start saving with Lightstream. Right now, just for being my listener, a little special interest rate discount. What? Go to lightstream.com/Benson. lightstream.com/Benson. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offers subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
We're just talking about the RNC and the DNC, the conventions, in July. What do you do, right? Because you're hearing with the coronavirus. What? Yeah, you guys know about the coronavirus? You guys haven't heard? COVID-19? Oh, man, COVID-19, that's my rap name. You guys haven't heard? It's spreading everywhere. I mean, Angela Merkel, Chancellor of Germany, came out and said, "Uns think this will infect 70% of all Germans." Well, that's not going to happen overnight, so that's going to take time. So, is it possible? And they're trying to. Oh no, that's we don't think it's going to be that. It's possible. I think it's totally possible. If you're that worried about it, and that this thing could take a few months. to not so much run its course, because this is going to be something that is going to infect, how many people they're saying? I don't know. So could they possibly? Just, you want to know, right? Beforehand. You don't want to cancel at the last minute. You want to know beforehand. People are frustrated. Yesterday, Coachella was canceled. So it's essentially no Coachella. Chad. I joked about that. People got mad. You just don't understand. You saying stuff like that and the canceling of Coachella. Do you understand how many people are going to be losing their jobs? Well, I live there and it sucks, but you don't seem to care. It's so funny the way that some people react. Like you say, well, these people are canceling the things, and I'm like, good riddance, because I'm not a huge fan of Pearl Jam. They're canceling some of their stuff. And people come out and they'll say something about, oh, well, what about all those people that are going to be working supposedly at Coachella and they're not working now because of these things? How dare you? You're an idiot. You're asinine for saying that. I'm like, why are you not whining about the fact that, I don't know, people in the travel industry are getting thumped? You're not worried about that. And by the way, they rescheduled Coachella.
Now that Coachella and its country cousin Stagecoach have been postponed due to concerns over the spread of coronavirus, the entertainment industry is waiting to see what's next. Coachella, the second biggest music festival in the country in terms of attendance, is the biggest beast to fall so far. Next biggest could be the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival at the end of April, then hip-hop's Rolling Loud Festival in Miami in May. Meanwhile, add Carlos Santana to the list of those canceling European dates. The Grammy-winning guitarist's miraculous 2020 tour was supposed to start next week. Now, instead of a show, fans are getting refunds.
Yeah, refunds. And some places aren't giving you refunds. So you want to know, like, more than a little bit in advance, don't you? You want to know a lot of it in advance. So it's frustrating as hell for a lot of people. But it's weird how we pick and choose who we're like, oh, you shouldn't say stuff like that because of these people are losing their gigs. They're not losing their gigs. They're just, that gig's not going on that day. They're having to move it. Not a lot you can do. It'll go on eventually. Just not going on at this moment in time. It is. And the industry that's being hurt the most is the travel industry, and I don't see people freaking out about that. Same people that attack me will ignore all of the other stuff. And I'm okay with that. I just want to point out there's a little hypocrisy there. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Major League Baseball's got their opening day. Are they going to say no fans? That'd be weird. There's already no fans in the stands. But usually opening day, there's a few. You're making fun of baseball now, mister. Text the program, tweet at us. What's your price if you were to be infected by it so they could try a vaccine on it? Company's paying $7,000. What is your price? Everybody's got a price. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We will see more cases and things will get worse than they are right now. How much worse we'll get will depend on our ability to do two things: to contain the influx of people who are infected coming from the outside, and the ability to contain and mitigate within our own country. Bottom line, it's going to get worse.
Bottom line, it's going to get worse. The panicdemic is on. Coronavirus 2020. Of course it's going to get worse. It's just now got to our shores, and it's starting to heat itself up a little bit, starting to get a little loose, right? You know, it's going to get a little loose. Then it's going to get worse. Then it'll slowly but surely plateau, and we'll be on to something else. But yes, it will get worse. Washington State, those of you, there's a state called Washington, said that They expect potentially 60+ thousand people to get it. Angela Merkel came out earlier and said, hey, guess what? We are expecting uns 70% of all Germans to get this. Ja, jawohl. Yet Italy having a lot of issues, and part of that's because they're old.
In Italy, it's a hugely disproportionate number of people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s who are getting sick or who are dying. And Italy has the second oldest population on Earth. And I think there really is a sense in Italy that the senior population are under attack.
Yeah. I don't know what to do, right? Spain's canceled all their school. Well, much like Italy, here's what happens. They take care of their family members. They're a part of it. What do I mean by that? Well, they're a part of everything that has to do with family from top to bottom, a lot like Asian countries where we do other things with our older members.
Older people tend to live with their families in Italy. It's not like here in Britain or perhaps in the United States where, we pack off old people into nursing homes. They live with their families. And so this idea perhaps that younger people who are more mobile don't necessarily get sick, but they can spread the virus, and then older people are more susceptible to it and are less able to survive it. So you have this kind of deadly concoction of mobile people spreading it and older people getting sick much more quickly.
Yeah, and it's James Lagerman there, and he's right. It's like, remember the movie Outbreak? It was the stupid monkey. So what is it? It's young kids. They're Petri dishes. And they're the ones spreading it. And in Spain, I was talking yesterday to my consultant who works with me on the show, and he normally travels throughout the globe, and he's stopped traveling. And when I mean traveling, he's got millions of miles. He's on a plane every day going somewhere. And he said he's not flying now, but he also said in Spain, as they shut everything down, while it's not a full kind of isolation quarantine, the parents may be going to work, but the kids are home from school, and grandma and grandpa's taking care of the kids. So you've got the spreader being taken care of by the people that are most vulnerable. Is that going to happen here? I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't think a lot of us know what it's going to look like. But it will get worse, but it's going to eventually get better. It's just not there yet. It's not. Now it's about mitigation, and then the plateauing, and then eventually the slowing down, and you'll see the cases fall off. And along the way, who knows what they'll come up with? Who knows? 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Last night, not a good night for Bernie. What are they going to do? I mean, feeling the burn, not right this moment.
You got a very dangerous moment for the Democratic Party. You have now an insurgency that's about to be defeated. What do you do with the people that you defeat? There was a hope on the part of a lot of young people they had a champion. You got young people who are graduating with $250,000 in debt. You got young people with a lot of pain, and they had a champion. And they thought that they were going to be able to surround a divided establishment with their movement, crush that divided establishment, and move forward. Instead, the establishment united and stopped them.
Yeah. And that happened. A lot of Bernie supporters are pissed. They look at this as, again, Bernie being screwed. And this is what you get from young supporters. They fall in love with the candidate and his ideas or her ideas. They fall in love. Older people, and I tell, and by older people, I mean anybody over like 35, compared to this younger millennial generation, they're not falling in love. And you should never fall in love with you fall in like with somebody. Make them earn your vote every time. But they are ride or die with their candidate. And it's that way with Bernie. And you saw in the last election cycle, while he hemmed and hawed, and it was only 2 weeks before he decided to endorse her before the election with Hillary, there were a good plenty of Bernie supporters who were just like, screw it. If it isn't our guy, we're not going to play. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Now what do you do? Last time Bernie Sanders got beaten, there was an assumption that all these people were just going to fall in line and vote against Trump, and there was not enough care for the concern and the pain of his base. I think tonight there's going to be a lot of crowing, a lot of relief on the part of the establishment. Temper it and turn to those people and say, we want to be your champion. If you don't do that, you're going to have a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, and that's can he win, Joe? First of all, can he win is a fair question to ask for any of these. Can Trump win? Can he win? But can Joe Biden win without Bernie supporters? I don't believe they can. I don't. I don't think Joe and the establishment are going to be able to win without Bernie's supporters. And I think anywhere between 30 and about 40% of them will just punt on this election because they want no part of the establishment. And that's also part of their problem, is they want no part of the establishment. They want no part of the Democratic Party. They see that as much as the Republican Party as they do the Democratic Party. They don't want any of that. Now, I don't think he's dropping out today, but the writing's on the wall. He knows he's not going to win this thing.
Boy, the last thing you want to do is say one thing demeaning or smug about the young people who didn't show up to vote. You know, Bernie tonight, again, in Michigan, got the 18 to 29-year-olds. I think it was it's around 82% the last time I looked. He's received the most votes from our young Americans. We cannot win in November without them.
No, you can't. But you're not going to be there in November. And I think people realize that. You're not. Now the question is, how do you reach over across that aisle? And I don't know if they're going to be able to, because they're not fans of Joe's. And they're Bernie or die. They're ride or die. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Harvey Weinstein got 23 years in jail. So let's see here. To carry his life sucks and good riddance to bad rubbish. Can we just all talk about good riddance to bad rubbish? Got 23 years in jail. Still facing more potential jail time and more trials in Los Angeles. So he's got 23. He's never getting out of jail. He fell down and hurt himself the other day. He's done. He's done. Again, good riddance to bad rubbish. I think we can all agree on that. There's a guy who's fallen, huh? And he will not be getting up anytime soon. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. I work out a lot. I did a 40-minute workout today, but I was in a hotel, got up, and it was raining, so I thought I'm not going to go for a run. I'll just work out. And I did a nice 40-minute workout, but about 20 minutes before I started working out, what did I do? Boom! Took my Beat Elite. And just the energy I feel. The Beat Elite is great. First of all, it tastes great, right? It's plant-based, naturally sweetened. But you can feel the difference with Beat Elite. Take about 20, 30 minutes before it's fast-acting in the way it goes. And it has extended my exercise periods. The longer I'm going, whether I'm playing soccer, whether I'm just doing regular exercise, I feel as I continue to go through it, how much stronger and longer I'm going. That's what Beat Elite does for me. If you're looking and you're saying to yourself, I need a little natural edge, I like taking my workouts to the next level, this is what it's all about. Beat Elite is great, it's affordable, it tastes delicious, and it will help you extend your workouts and take it to another level. No matter what you're doing, whether you're playing basketball or soccer or swimming or just working out, this is what it's all about. livehuman.com/Chad. You go there, you're going to save 20% off your first purchase. That's livehuman.com/Chad. livehuman.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Being antisocial sucks. Hang with Chad's friends on Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. And if you just need some alone time, head on over to Twitter at Chad Benson Show. Either way, we can't wait to meet the real you.
In a powerful moment, some of his accusers walked into court today, flanked by the prosecution. Mimi Haley and Jessica Mann, their testimony convicted Harvey Weinstein on those two charges, both of them delivering very emotional victim impact statements saying that those sexual assaults that occurred many years ago had this lasting impact on their lives.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein, 23 years. Even though he was sentenced to 23 years, here's the thing. And I've talked to several lawyers who, when you listen to their testimonies, it would have been tough in some cases, had you not known who Harvey Weinstein is, to maybe even convict some of these people. Somebody that's just a regular person. And there's no doubt that he got a way stiffer sentence than maybe the average person would have got with all of his big stuff. And I think there's something to that. There's no doubt this guy's a scumbag, and he's going away for a long time, and he's not getting out of jail. And I think we can all say good riddance to bad rubbish. So 23 years is what he's got. He's 70 or 67, right? So he'd be 90 because this just isn't it. He still is going to face charges probably in Los Angeles. So he's done. He's done. There is no, and we were talking about how long does he have, right? Like how much longer does he have? Is he going to be there for? Is he going to magically something happen to him? Is he going to commit suicide? Does he have a heart attack? Does he? I mean, you start going through these things because they're talking about how he's been struggling and he's only been there a couple weeks. You're looking at 23 years. At best, what are you going to do, 15? Maybe 20? I don't think he's going to be a problem for people. So it's not like he's going to go in there and all of a sudden start running the joint and be a shot caller. 15, 20, he's not getting out. He'll never see the light of day. And that's if nothing else happens. Think about that. If nothing else happens, where he has to go face more people in court, which he's probably going to have to do. If nothing else happens, 85 before he gets out. I think we're fine with good riddance to bad rubbish. I think we are. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. I find this to be so interesting. People are absolutely loving the fact that they got great discounts right now on cruises and everything else, right? And the industry's struggling, and they're telling people don't do it. But a lot of people look at this and say, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. I'm taking it. My buddy yesterday was his big trip to Europe with his daughter, right? She just turned 21. It was my goddaughter. They're going to Europe, and we got tickets and all kinds of stuff for soccer games. They're going to go travel and enjoy it, and they canceled everything yesterday. My other on-air host that I work with, doing my local show here, he was supposed to go see his mom this weekend. Probably not going to do it. And his wife was going to take a cruise with her mother, and they canceled everything. A lot of people are doing it. Other people are running at it, saying, you know what? It is. It's cheap. I'll take the opportunity. You go look at flights right now as they've cut back on flights. Some of these things are empty. And some people are also saying, look, I'm not getting my money back and I can't reschedule it. So at this thing, I'm going to take the opportunity to run with it. You get great deals. You can get great deals at this moment in time. If you're willing to travel and you're willing to take to take that risk. And some people are. Some people, and if you're 25, right? You've been planning this. You and your buddies are going to go somewhere, and you've been planning this, and they're suggesting you not to go, and you think to yourself, you know what? We've paid for it. I'm in good shape. I'm not really worried about it. If I get it, I could see why people want to do that. I could see why people may say, and for some people too, this is it. Like they're taking one big trip a year. They've paid a ton of money. They're going to lose out on it. So they may just run it. But other people are just going, discounts are too amazing. I'm going to do this. I'm doing it. Are you that person? I don't know. For me, I look for cheap deals. Not like I'm going anywhere. But if you work from home and you can kind of get away with it, and you go on a cruise and you get stuck there for 2 weeks, is it the worst thing that's ever happened? You say it now, but then if you're stuck in, because you think you're on a cruise ship. Well, it's the worst thing I've been on a cruise ship. Yeah, but you're not really on the cruise ship if there's an outbreak. You're in your little cabin there. That's something to think about, right? You're in your little cabin. You're not on that cruise ship. You're not wandering around playing shuffleboard, sitting in a jacuzzi kind of thing. You're stuck in your cabin at kind of waiting for them to bring you stuff. It's not like you're going to the beach, and if you're getting there and you can kind of come and go as you please at a hotel, that's a different story. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. 23 years for Harvey Weinstein. I don't think anybody's crying a tear except for Harvey. He's probably going to cry a lot of tears. And he's going to find out probably what it's like to be on the other end of putting people through horrible, horrible, horrible things that he put them through. Different kind of casting couch at Rikers. 323-538-2420 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Team doctor come in and he talked to us about everything. Just keeping ourselves clean, washing our hands, and how much to wash our hands, 20 seconds and stuff like that. But just really gave us an update about the virus and where it was, and in relation to LA, and the potential of not playing in front of fans. That's really it.
Yeah. Anthony Davis right there, Lakers. Is it going to happen? It's going to happen. Will it be everywhere? I don't know if it's going to be everywhere, but you're going to see, you're already seeing conferences cancel, or not cancel, some cancel. The Ivy League canceled their conference basketball tournament. Kids will be told to stay at home. Don't come back from spring break. We'll do it remotely. You're finding that, each league is grappling with what's going to take place. I think in San Jose, the Sharks, they will not have any crowds. And if you've ever watched a sporting event where there is a large arena and there is nobody in there, it's not as cool. It's just not. It takes away something. I watched over the weekend the Italian league Serie A, which is the top league in Italy. They had Juventus played Inter Milan, and there was nobody in the crowd at the at their stadium. So it was it was just San Siro was like it was empty. You're looking at 80,000 seats, and it's just everything echoes, the ball, the thud. There's just no energy. Even though the game's going on, there's no energy. It looks like it's a practice game. So people watch it for a second, you're like, oh, this will be interesting. And then you're like, it's not interesting. It's not. It's interesting to watch for like 2 seconds, but then it's just like, it's nothing. It's very dull and quiet and so be prepared. Be prepared and be smart, right? Especially the older population. That's what they're saying. Be smart about. Yesterday you saw what? Biden and Sanders cancel going to Ohio because they didn't want to have rallies outside. They just thought, you know what, we're not going to do this. We had to cancel for real reasons because they're worried.
The governor of Ohio asked the presidential campaigns to cancel their indoor public events in Cleveland with large crowds of people.
Not you, Joe, but Bernie potentially. Although I don't know how long that's going to be. Speaking of Joe, yesterday, he got into it with a union worker about guns. If you haven't heard it, we touched on it a bit yesterday.
These union workers that have been working countless hours under the Trump administration, I'd like you to explain how you plan to not only keep us working, but how you intend on getting the union vote when there's a large portion of the union workers that are gun enthusiasts. You are actively trying to diminish our Second Amendment right and take away our guns.
You're full of
All right, thank you.
No, shush. I support the Second Amendment. Second Amendment, just like right now, if you yell fire, that's not free speech.
Okay. He was very angry, and it was a very interesting thing to watch how quick he was to anger. It was very interesting, and you see it a lot. And look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. One of the big fears I have with Joe is he's older, and is he there? Is he there all the time? Like, it's a fair question to ask. Anthony, producer Anthony pointed out, Joe and Mika for 2-3 years has argued that Trump is incompetent, that he is mentally he's diminished, and all of these things. This is a real fair question. I don't worry about that with Trump. His chaos, and maybe he's incompetent in other ways. You can argue that. That's fine. But mentally incompetent and deficient and struggling, and has dementia. Now, I don't buy that. I don't buy that with Bernie. I don't. Like, Bernie's totally fine. We can ask questions about his heart. But with Joe, I have other questions that are very real.
I have a shotgun, I have a 20 gauge, a 12 gauge, my son's hunt. Guess what? You're not allowed to own any weapon. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
So when you were in Beto, when you said you're going to take our guns,
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
It's a viral video.
It's a viral video like the other ones they're putting out that are simply a lie.
Your voice, you said that you're taking the guns.
Wait.
So he's sitting there arguing, and it was interesting.
Wait. Take your AR-14s
or whatnot. But then afterwards, he's walking off, and the video you should really see. But he looks confused. He looks dazed, and they were asking about how well he handled the situation.
Wasn't it appropriate to swear at an American, though, especially a union voter? Right temperament with voters that you don't agree with, sir?
Vice President, on the coronavirus, they're both targeting you over this exchange this morning with the voter about guns. Any regrets about how you handled it?
Well, I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. It just surprised me.
What? I want you guys to listen to that again. They're asking him all kinds of questions about what just took place. Somebody threw a coronavirus question there, but they're asking all kinds of questions. Should you have yelled at that guy? Should you guys have sworn at an American, a union worker? And this is about a gun exchange with a union worker on the shop floor as he's visiting. And this is his answer?
Wasn't it appropriate to swear at an American, though, especially a union voter? Right temperament with voters that you don't agree with, sir?
Vice President, on the coronavirus, they're both targeting you over this exchange this morning with the voter about guns. Any regrets about how you handled it?
Well, I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. It just surprised me.
I'm surprised that Sanders is joining Trump. Huh? I think it's a fair question to ask. We just don't like Biden. I like Biden. I think Joe Biden's a good dude. But can we not have the actual question about is he there? Is he there all the time? Not just 60% of the time or 70% of the time. Is he there all the time? Because that's what you need. That's what you need. You can go back and look at the last year or so of Reagan, and we didn't really understand dementia, and we didn't really understand Alzheimer's and things of that nature in the way that we do now. And I said to producer Anthony, reminds me a little bit of my grandma. My grandma got older, and by the way, not as old as him, when she started to struggle a little bit. And quick to anger. Very quick to anger. And there's difference, too. And people say, well, he's had gaffes. Gaffes are not this, right? He's looking at times. He's searching for things. And I don't want him to be sick. Hell no. I like Joe. I don't want any of that stuff. But you got to think about this. If you're a voter right now, And between now and November, you got to make up your mind, and you start thinking to yourself, they're throwing all their eggs in this basket. And what if a good portion of those eggs are broken? That's a fair question. Has nothing to do with him as a person. Has all to do with the reality is he all there? Right? We can ask these questions, especially at this age. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do believe it's a fair question to ask here. Just like we can ask the question, we hear it all the time. I mean, yesterday, Joe and Mika called Trump. He's he's morbidly obese. Say all these, yeah. Trump's a big dude. But you know what? I don't worry about Trump's energy level because he seems to be going. I don't worry about whether or not Trump is mentally there. He likes the chaos. I think his faculties are working, right? He hasn't had a heart attack. I can look over at Bernie and say, you had a heart attack not too long ago. So, and I don't worry about whether or not Bernie's elevator goes all the way to the top right now, because I know it does. If you're a Democrat, are you working? Are you worried? Are you worried at this moment? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. So they're canceling events, or doing all of these kind of things because of the coronavirus. It's very interesting. Like, what have you stopped doing? That's the funny thing. I asked people yesterday, what do you stop doing? Because a lot of people, they're not shaking hands. They're, and look, as a politician being out there, how many people that you run into on a day-to-day basis? Yeah, I could see that. I could see not shaking hands all the time. Right? Even the Queen now, who's broken from protocol, she's wearing gloves if she is meeting anybody, because we have to worry about what? The older population. And that's one of the things that I think we're starting to see here, where, places like Italy, as they've shut everything down in Italy, they're worried about the older population. I was talking to my friend yesterday, who's always in Spain, and Spain has shut down the schools because of the coronavirus outbreak. And so who takes care of the kids? Grandparents. Who spreads the disease? Kids. It's not a good thing, right? That's not a good thing. Italy's having issues as well.
In Italy, it's a hugely disproportionate number of people in their 70s, 80s and 90s who are getting sick or who are dying. And Italy has the second oldest population on Earth. And I think there really is a sense in Italy that the senior population are under attack.
Yeah, because of this. It's just understanding how dangerous this is. But even at the danger level that it poses for seniors, it's still a decent survival rate. Common sense. Right? And I see, like these people say, I can't believe they're canceling these events. Yeah. Sunday night here in Arizona, supposed to be, and I don't know if there is or isn't going to be, a debate. Because I know what Bernie's going to do. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But the reality is they've now decided there's not going to be any media outside of, I believe, CNN, who's the moderators, and there will not be any audience members, which will also be weird for the debate. They're doing everything they can. Why? Because they're in a high-risk group. Think about that. 78 and 77, they're in a high-risk group. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Lightstream. Our friends over at Lightstream are taking care of you. How so? Well, first of all, go look at your credit card. How many you got? 2, 3, 4 of them? Got a lot of money on those things. And you're saying to yourself, what am I paying monthly that's just going to, oh my Lord, 20%? That's about the average. You need my friends at Lightstream. It's so easy to lower your interest rate and save with Lightstream credit card consolidation loan. You can get a rate as low as 5.95% APR with auto pay. You got good credit, but you're still paying ridiculous rates. Stop it. Lightstream delivers $5,000 to $100,000, no fees. And in cases, many of them, you can get your money as early as the same day you apply. It's so easy. You can do it right from your phone. And they will take care of you. Big time. They will. And just for me and my listeners, you can save even more. You go to lightstream.com/Benson, LIGHTSTREAM.com/Benson. See how easy it is to save. Get yourself out of that ridiculous chaos of paying way too much in interest rates and get over to Lightstream. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offers subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. Chad Benson Show.
Boys, give me a bowl of chili with plenty of peppers.
One Mexican heartburn. Why don't you mugs grow up?
The Chad Benson Show, where independent, a la carte thinkers have a seat at the table and a voice in the dialogue.
I'll have what she's having.
This is Chad Benson.
Harvey Weinstein declared himself totally confused by the Me Too movement, which he appeared to compare to McCarthyism and the Red Scare of the 1950s. He worried about thousands of men, he said, who are losing due process. But Weinstein also cast himself as more empathetic than he was when he was first accused in 2017. He acknowledged by name the two accusers who spoke before him in court and said Harvey Weinstein appeared to lack remorse. The judge sentenced Weinstein to 23 years in prison.
Yeah, 23 years in prison is what he got. Obviously, mixed emotions, mostly positive from everybody who has suffered at the hands of Harvey. His attorney, a little bit pissed.
I am overcome with anger at that number. I think that number is a cowardly number to give. I think the judge caved, just as I believe the jury caved.
Yeah. Is that true? I'm sure there's going to be an appeal, which is going to take a while, but when it was read.
How are you feeling, Fabio?
Yeah, people were excited about it. Other people were pissed. Again, Donna Rotono, who represented Weinstein.
That number did not speak to the testimony that we heard. That number did not speak to evidence, nor did it speak to justice.
Yeah. Pissed off, thinks that the judge and everybody else caved into political correctness and outside pressure in what many people, if you're just looking at this blanketly, and this was just a man versus woman, you didn't know any of these things, and you read the transcripts and you heard about certain things, maybe it would be even hard to convict somebody. But Harvey, they think his notoriety and his infamy because of all of this cost him at the sentencing as much as it cost him during the trial.
There are murderers who will get out of court faster than Harvey Weinstein will. That number spoke to the pressure of movements and the public. That number did not speak to the evidence that came out at trial.
Well, he got it. He'll deal with it. He'd be about 90 if he ever got out. And just remember, it's not done here. Harvey's going to have to face potentially more trials in the future from one coast to the next, from the left coast to the west coast. Might be heading out to L.A. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Love hearing from every single one of you. Crazy. Biden crushing it, rocking and rolling. Weinstein sentenced, and coronavirus still healthy, even though it's making other people unhealthy. And they're saying it could get worse. Very, very bad. But we'll see. I saw one doctor tweet it out. Wash your hands. Be smart. Turn off the television. I get where he's going with that. 323-538-2423. Here's something that is smart. Gabi, Gabi.com. What's that? Well, do you really want to sit on, hold, scour, looking as you compare insurances with your homeowner's insurance and your car insurance, what's the cheapest rates? Or do like I did, go to Gabi.com. It's the insurance shopping comparison engine. Here's what's great. You take it, you punch in your information, takes about 2 minutes. You get 40 of the top insurance providers that will give you apples to apples comparison. I'm saving money on car insurance, and it's pretty spot even when it comes to my homeowner's insurance. On average, about $825 per year is saved thanks to Gabi for its customers. Now's your chance to try Gabby for free, because it is free, and they're never going to sell your info to annoying spam or robocallers, so don't worry about that. Takes 2 minutes right now. See how much you can save on your car and homeowners insurance for free. Go to Gabby.com/Benson, GABI.com/Benson, Gabby.com/Benson. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. Have a great rest of your day. We got you over the hump. Oh, Thursday and Friday are coming fast, kids. Stay away from the coronavirus. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.